So we know it's Bowel Cancer Awareness Month, and we want to highlight just how crucial it is to be looking after your bowel health. Now, it's really important to remember that no cancer is completely preventable, and genetics can play a part here, and so can sheer bad luck. But you can lower your risk of bowel cancer by eating a healthy diet and exercising regularly. So, as part of our bowel cancer awareness conversations, we want some really practical and useful tips for basically good bowel nutrition, right? Upping your intake of fibre. And we've got with us the wonderful Claire Turnbull from claireturnbull.co.nz, claireturnbull.co.nz. So nice to see you, Claire.
Thank you.
It's been ages. So this is a really important conversation, right?
It is. So our bowel, because you don't see your bowel on the inside, often it gets forgotten about, right? But at the end of the day, not looking after the health of your bowel can have serious, serious consequences.
Hell yes.
And because we don't often talk about, things that come out the other end, then often this gets missed. And the reality is with bowel cancer is that there's a lot that we can do to reduce our risk. And that's where we need to take some steps, particularly men as well.
Okay. Why? So what's the difference between men and women here?
So men have slightly higher rates of bowel cancer. The other things that we've got to remember is men actually need more fibre than women, but don't eat any more. And when it comes to the conversation around red meat, processed meat, it's a lot of guys that they're not the first ones that are reducing their intake. It'll be females that say, oh, I'll have a little bit less red meat. But it's the guys, that are often ordering the salami pizzas, the, ham and cheese sandwiches. And it's really just looking at their relative risk. And they're the ones that don't necessarily go to the doctors, and they're the, less likely to point out the blood in their stool and things like that because of the embarrassing conversations. So, it's important for all of us, but, men often aren't great at their fruit and veggie intake either.
Right. Okay. So so this is great because we have on the table stuff that we could eat and should eat, more importantly.
Definitely.
So what should we eat? Okay.
So the conversation really is about fibre. So fibre, there's 3 types of fibre. Soluble, which basically is a gel that slows the movement of food down. There is insoluble, which is roughage.
Right. Can we go through them one at a time?
Yeah. So soluble.
So why do we need soluble?
So it creates a gel which basically slows the rate that food goes from the stomach into the small intestine. What that means is it allows there to be more time for the nutrients to be absorbed. Okay, so you've got your mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine. That's where the nutrients are absorbed. You don't want it to go too quickly through there, so you can absorb the food. Then the insoluble fibre is the roughage. What that does is it bulks out the stool, and it almost acts like a bottle brush as you're going through and keeps things moving through. Then there's something called resistant starch.
So we need a combination of soluble and insoluble.
And resistant starch is basically, we've got this what's called your microbiome. And your microbiome is, you've got this complex array of microorganisms that live inside you, roughly around 2 to 3 kilograms. And
you say that again?
2 to 3 kilograms, yeah.
Whoa.
So you've got this amazing internal ecosystem. And in your large bowel, so it's your large bowel and your rectum, which is where the bowel cancer can be affected, this is where a majority of these microorganisms live. One thing that they do is they ferment fibre. They ferment these parts of your food that are kind of left over at the end and create short-chain fatty acids which protect the bowel. If they don't have enough fibre to feed on, they can't do what they need to do to look after that part of the bowel.
Right, let's give them some fibre. So what do they want?
So what we need to be doing is we have roughly 20 grams a day at the moment. Females, you need 28 grams. Guys, 38 grams, okay? So where do we get it from? Porridge, we've got around, would be 8 grams with the berries on there, would be near 10 grams.
Can I just do a shout out for porridge? It is a superfood.
Cheap as well.
Incredibly cheap. It's easy to make.
Yeah.
There's hardly anyone who doesn't like it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bloody fantastic food.
And then we've got I've got oats soaked with chia seeds. Chia seeds are very, very high in fibre. That would be near 15 grams in there. With your meat, so with meat, it's reducing it to 350 to 500 grams cooked weight, trying to eliminate processed meats as much as possible.
350 to 500 grams cooked weight over what period?
Over a week.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And so there I've just bulked that out with some kidney beans, brown rice higher in fibre, salads, your soup here, that would be a good 10 to 12 grams.
I just want to come back to the 350 to 500 because I suspect people are really listening to this.
Yes.
So that's per week.
So that's about 700 grams raw.
Okay.
Weight.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what meats are we talking about here? That's red meats?
So beef, pork, lamb. is the ones there.
So what we're saying is an upper range of 700 uncooked a week.
Yes. So they're weighing...
So that's our red meats.
That's our red meats. And that's because they do provide valuable nutrients, you know, iron, zinc. A lot of 1 in 14 women are low in iron in New Zealand. But, you know, it's that men versus women, and you know, and it's the processed meat. So the salami, the ham, the bacon. There is no safe level. So the recommendation from the World Cancer Research Fund is, you know, limit, if at all, those foods, because they are group 1 carcinogen. There is no safe amount in terms of your cancer risk of those foods.
Wow.
So, you know, that's a significant... And we love these things, but that fits into the same category as alcohol. And we love them, and they're socially normal.
I love a bacon butty with a beer.
I love a bacon. Yeah. No, so, you know, so do I. It's not about whether we enjoy, you know, and I'm, you know, I may work in nutrition, but I enjoy these foods too. It's just being mindful that there's a difference between having those particularly high-risk foods every day, along with all, you know, low fibre, too much alcohol, high-processed meats. It puts you at risk. And particularly, again, we also need to be aware that if we do notice symptoms and signs that we need to go and get checked, because, you know...
OK, so I want to come back to the good foods conversation.
Yes.
So the porridge, the chia seeds, I reckon lots of people won't eat chia seeds. The moment you say it, everyone thinks, are you from Grey Lynn? So tell us about them. What do we do with them? Where do we buy them? What do we do with them?
You can buy them at any single supermarket. You can buy them at fruit and veggie stores. They're best soaked, so that's just soaked in oats. And then they're not expensive. All nuts and seeds are fantastic, really. You know, so that you know, there is a good 4 grams. A tablespoon of peanut butter, it doesn't need to be whole. They can be, peanut butter has still got 4 grams in a tablespoon. Put it into a smoothie. Put it on top of your porridge. You know, peanut butter on toast is better than jam.
Peanut butter on your porridge?
Yeah. So that it adds.
Do you do that, Indira?
Peanut butter on.
He does it every day.
Hayden does peanut butter on his porridge. Who knew? I've never done that.
Well, it's just it's an easy way to add healthy fat, bit of protein, fibre. And, you know, a banana's got 4 grams. One of the basic things is a lot of us are not getting the principal amount of fruit and vegetables that we need. And I get that, you know, but, you know, even the pulses, lentils, chickpeas, they are cheap.
I was just going to say, everything on this table today is cheap.
Yeah.
OK. Boy, this has been good. I've learned a lot today. Peanut butter on your porridge may be a bridge too far, but I'll give it a go. ClaireTurnbull.co.nz.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's a good conversation. Thank you, Claire.
Thanks.
Stay with us. We're going to eat some peanut butter on porridge and we'll be back after the break.